Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Hannah Parrott. I'm the Marketing Event Specialist here at TAPCO, and I will be your moderator today. Today we are presenting on a technical overview of popular TAPCO solutions. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box located on the right-hand side of the screen. I may interject with questions throughout the presentation, but the majority of questions will be saved for the Q&A at the end. Throughout the presentation, we will offer a few poll questions. These will pop up on the right-hand side of the screen as well. We will be sending out a recording of this presentation along with any relevant material within the next few days, so you don't need to worry about taking any notes. If you would like to receive a PDH certificate, please send me an email after the presentation. My contact information is on the screen now, and I'll also include it at the end of this presentation. Today we'll be discussing a brief introduction of TAPCO, core technologies of each TAPCO system, curve warning solutions, overheight warning solutions, high water warning solutions, pedestrian crosswalk systems and enhancements, intersection conflict solutions, preventative maintenance, and then we'll have the Q&A at the end. A little bit about TAPCO before we dive in. I'm sure most of you are familiar with TAPCO, but for those who are not, we've been in business since 1953. We're a third-generation family-owned company based out of Brown Deer, Wisconsin, and we pride ourselves on our four core strengths of quality, innovation, service, and expertise. Our speaker today is Brian Everard. Brian has been with TAPCO for nearly 2 decades and is an expert on TAPCO products and solutions. Now, without further ado, I'll turn the time over to Brian.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. I know it's been a unique year, and I know with COVID, many of you are probably in a little bit of a webinar overload right now. So again, even more so, thank you for taking the time out today. Hopefully you do see some value in some of the solutions and topics we talk about here today. Feel free at the end to mention any other ideas or things that you'd like to see more information on during this time of extra webinars. We'd like to start to focus on some other things in some future webinars, such as funding, service, cooperative programs, things like that. One thing to note here as I go through the presentation is there are going to be a couple of videos mentioned here in the presentation. Just due to time, I'm not going to actually display those videos, but this presentation will go out afterwards, so you'll have access to those videos at that time. So as Hannah had mentioned, real quick before I go into this start of the products here, TAPCO's been around since the 1960s. One thing we really pride ourselves in is we are third generation family owned, family operated. So we want to make sure that you understand we're going to be there for you through the entire process, from the consultation and design, through quoting and procurement, all the way through the sales process, and then everything thereafterward, from being on site to providing you the best technical and field service support that we possibly can. So it's something we really pride ourselves in, and we think it's very important that we're providing you an entire solution and an entire process throughout. So we'll start here with what TAPCO really started about 2 decades ago. TAPCO has been around again since the 1960s, but really focused on more red, yellow, green light intersection products, as well as static signs and static traffic equipment. 2 decades ago, we started to jump into the intelligent warning type of systems, which is what we're going to talk about here today. And it all started with an LED enhanced stop sign in California 2 decades ago. So many of you probably do know this product. This product is approved by the MUTCD through section 2A-07. So those are the regulations you need to follow. TAPCO follows them to a T. We do feel we're the most lightweight, the most daylight visible enhanced sign in the market. We make sure all of our products are very weather durable. So we make sure we use NEMA rated, IP rated type products, as well as with our LEDs, we ultrasonically weld them to the sign face to ensure we're not getting any water penetration. Again, with these signs, we can make these in any legend. So I know the stop sign is what we have become most popular for, but any MUTC legend or any custom legend. Really, the only limitations we have is the LED colors we have right now are red, yellow, white, and orange, which do accommodate about 95% of the MUTCD signs. That's really the only limitations at this point. We do offer auto dimming within our LED enhanced signs. So based on the ambient light that's outside will be based on how bright our LEDs will flash. We have a 6-step algorithm that we have throughout the day. And what this allows for is better battery conservation and allows the LEDs to be bright enough for drivers to see, but not blinding for situations such as nighttime. TAPCO did realize as we were in the market for a number of years with LED enhanced signs that there were other types of warning devices that we could be a part of. As we understand, something such as a beacon has been in the industry for 40, 50 plus years. In regards to beacons, there is an MUTCD guideline that everyone needs to meet. So there aren't a whole lot of feature benefits when it comes to an LED beacon head. TAPCO utilizes Dialight models, which Dialight is well-known, a well-represented brand in the industry. We offer these in 8-inch and 12-inch sizes. And again, really our big claim to fame with our beacons is our ability to custom mount them however you need be. We're not limited to certain type of pole setups. One big value add that TAPCO does offer in the industry is power sourcing. So we want to make sure that we want to understand when you do have a situation or a problem that we know the area and that we take a look at it and we provide you the best power source for that area. We're always going to try to push solar because we do feel solar is more economical, it's green friendly, and we want to make sure that we do have the accurate solar sizing for your equipment. So it's not a one size fits all. Depending on which region it's going into and what we're all powering, we need to make sure we have the accurate size solar panel and batteries to give you the autonomy battery backup needed for your system. But when solar is just not feasible, so if you have large trees, nearby building, we do have other different types of options that we can do. We can just do straight 120 volt AC, very easy. If you have power nearby, we can just directly tie into that. We do offer AC with battery backup, just in case you're worried about that AC going down. We do have DC to AC conversion kits. So if you're worried about solar potentially having any issues, we do have a conversion ability to go straight to AC if there were any issues. And then as you see a little photo there, we do offer streetlight power. This is something that we feel can be very beneficial in situations where solar is not feasible and you don't have power nearby. So to be able to actually run power out to that location is very costly, but you do happen to have a nearby streetlight that's probably running off of most likely 277 volts. So what we'll do is we'll tie into that streetlight power. That streetlight power at nighttime will charge our battery, and our battery will continuously run our system. So again, we just want you to know that no matter where you're putting in one of our solutions, that we will have a power source available to run it. First solution I'm going to jump into today is our dynamic curve warning systems. Dynamic curve warning systems have been around with TAPCO for 10 plus years. Really took off a number of years ago when we teamed up with FHWA for a study, which I'll jump into here in a second. So rural curves do account for about 25% of all highway fatalities in the U.S. That usually is into dealing with runoffs, roadway departure, speeding, driver error. In a lot of these rural situations, there's just not enough lighting. So that's where TAPCO kind of teamed up with a couple of agencies and FHWA to develop a solution. With this testing we did with FHWA, we did it for about 18 months and we did it at 12 curve locations across the United States. At that point, after that 18-month data, we proved to show that we reduced horizontal curves by crashes by about 58%. We've actually even seen higher data in some local municipal type of studies we've done, but we think that is excellent data to justify the cost of trying to put one of these enhanced systems in there. We have well over 200 installations nationwide at this time. And again, we usually like to take a look at understanding if it's a rural versus urban type of setup to provide you with the proper design. We have a couple of different flash patterns that we offer to guide you through that curve. One is just a true sequential flashing pattern, which is going to give you kind of like a pull-through effect to pull that car through. We can have all the signs actually simultaneously flash as well through that curve. What we have done is for some longer radius curves right now is we offer segmentation as well. So for instance, if you have 16 curve warning signs, sequentially pulling a car through, the car is never going to be able to see all the way through those 16 signs. So we'll segment them in, let's say, 4 to 6 signs per batch so that the car gets the true effect of the pull through. One of the big value adds TAPCO came out with here a couple of years ago with our curve warning system was developing a ruggedized version of our LED enhanced sign. So we had put our standard 080 or 125 signs out in some mountainous, snowy, high-speed truck traffic areas, and we realized after a number of years, it's just the weather environments had too much effect on the signs as far as wear and tear. So we developed a ruggedized version of the sign to put up in those type of areas. So that's something that we're going to ask when you come out with a solution is kind of what is the speed, where is it going, the region, understanding the environment to suggest whether or not we just go with our standard model or a ruggedized version. Just so you know, these ruggedized versions can be made in any MUTCD sign as well. We do them most with our curve warning systems, but again, any MUTCD sign we can make ruggedized. As you see, kind of some of the conditions with the photos over here on the right-hand side, snow climates, high truck traffic, definitely can do some wear and tear on the static signs, which then does some wear and tear on the LEDs. So again, as we're going to find out your situation, we'll kind of then suggest whether or not to go with a standard sign, to go with potentially, we do have a middle kind of solution as well, which is just putting some Z-bar on the back of the sign to make the sign a little bit more stable, or otherwise going with a ruggedized version. A couple of the other value adds that TAPCO offers to our dynamic curve warning system is one, we can offer any type of warning device you need. So it doesn't have to be our LED enhanced blinker signs. It could be a beacon. As you see in the photo here, we could put overhead dynamic warning displays, variable type blankouts. So many different type of warning devices that we can utilize. We can not only run these 24 hours a day, we commonly have them activated by a Doppler speed radar. But in situations where it's more of a climate issues, potentially slippery rain type scenarios, we do offer some pavement moisture sensors as well to trigger the type of system. So again, a lot of different types of features and add-ons that TAPCO can offer. The next solution I'll get into here is our overheight warning system. TAPCO dove into this solution here, I'd say about 6-7 years ago. We knew of a couple of overheight detection companies that existed within the industry, but we felt there really wasn't a full-blown solution that really existed out there right now. And as our bridges continue to age and our vehicles continue to get taller and our semi-trucks continue to carry higher loads, a lot of these bridges that were developed many, many years ago are just not feasible for these vehicles to get through. So making sure we provide the proper signage and warning systems to reroute those vehicles from those areas are very important. Anytime a vehicle does hit a bridge or gets stuck under a bridge, the cost of having to repair, maintain liability behind it, closing the roads is very, very, very costly. So if you do have any scenarios where you do have that kind of happening annually, it's something this is a great solution to look into. The way our system will work is as a vehicle heads towards that location, we will have poles on each side of the road that will hold either a single beam or a dual beam sensor system that as the vehicle actually triggers that system, it will then activate a warning device. The reason we have single beam and dual beam is single beam, if it is a one-way road and it really isn't ideal for traffic coming the other direction, it's a little bit of a lower cost solution. But we strongly encourage doing a dual beam. Dual beam will allow for redundancy to ensure that there isn't anything such as any kind of debris or birds or anything that actually trips that beam. So the dual beam is definitely what we will suggest. Again, we can have this power sourced however you like. So that's what really makes us unique in the market, is that we can solar power these overheight warning systems. And again, any type of warning device that you'd like to utilize. The picture here shows dual beacon flashers, but again, it could be a blinker sign, could be a blankout sign, could be a dynamic warning display up ahead. So many different types of warning devices we can use. Some of the great add-on features that we offer for our overheight warning system. One is a overview camera. And the reason we'll use the overview camera really is for a visual indication if you do want to receive alerts anytime the system is triggered. So if you'd like to receive alerts when the system is triggered, we just throw a modem inside of your system, and through anywhere with a web interface, you can actually then hook up into and log into, and we can actually provide you then a visual recognition of that as well, instead of just receiving a text or an email. So that's where the license plate or where the camera and license plate recognition cameras really come into play. Another great feature we can offer is CVI, connected vehicle interfaces. I'm going to talk about that through a few of our different solutions today. So TAPCO does offer a full-blown CVI solution that includes roadside units and onboard user interfaces. So again, I'll kind of talk about that throughout. But as we continue to develop some of these new systems and roads across our industry, we are going to continue to start to develop more systems for smart vehicles that are going to be coming out. So it's something that I'll talk about here in a little bit. The next solution I'll jump into here is our high water warning system. Our high water warning system came out here about, again, 6 or 7 years ago. It actually came out after Hurricane Sandy came through Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. We had a couple of different agencies kind of come to us asking what type of solution we could develop to try to reroute cars from these flood zones. So that's really what got us kind of into this solution, and we've kind of learned and created solutions and features ever since. So again, while flooding does commonly occur in coastal areas, honestly, it can be all across the United States. There are obviously poorly designed roads underneath bridges that have high rain annually that can flood consistently, and really is hard to reroute vehicles from that area. So it's really hard for drivers to know when that's coming up. So that's why we're developing the solution, to give the vehicles more of a notification or reroute from that area. Again, as I mentioned here, while coastlines are very common, again, underpasses, tunnels, at-risk roadways are all different types of scenarios we can utilize this type of system. So most commonly, TAPCO utilizes a 3-pole system for this scenario. We're going to make sure that we understand your area and pole place at the absolute low point, our detection pole, to ensure that when the water rises, it's tripped at the proper time. And at that point, through wireless communication, we'll make sure to activate enhanced warning systems of some type to make sure we can give the vehicle notification or reroute from that area. One of the great features we offered, kind of like in the overheight system, is we can offer an alert-based notification through visual recognition. So then you can actually know when the systems are being tripped, and to see if there are any vehicles that are stalled at that point. So again, those are great features to offer just to be a little bit more proactive as you're heading out into the field. While the 3-pole scenario is most common, TAPCO is happy to design a full-blown system throughout your maybe potential coastal city. The largest type of layout we've ever done is about 80 signs throughout a community. And what we had done is we kind of took a drive through that community and kind of understood where the routing was to evacuate vehicles through that coastal city. And we made sure to put the detection at the proper points, made sure to put the warning devices at the proper points to give vehicles the proper routing scenario to leave the community when those types of floods are occurring. TAPCO offers a few different types of sensor mechanisms right now, and because with high water, depending on the scenario, whether it is a bridge or tunnel, at-risk roadway, whether or not we're talking coastal for salt water or fresh water, there are different types of sensors that are best for each scenario. So that's why TAPCO mentions a few different ones here, but we're definitely open to other ones that are in the industry right now as well. The photo eye, which TAPCO had used for a long time, is a fantastic type of sensing mechanism, but in your saltwater locations, It's something that can get a little bit of debris on the photo eye itself. So it's something that you would need to maintain and go out there and clean that photo eye every few months. So that's why TAPCO jumped into the pressure and float mechanical type of layout to allow for more of a mechanical situation that wouldn't have to dealing with either saltwater or freshwater. It would work easily with both. So the way the system works for a pressure sensor is it's going to use the air pressure, which then the water fills up to trigger the switch. The second part of that redundant two-part mechanical system is that float sensor. So as the water rises and pushes up that float mechanism, and it'll actually trigger a switch as well. So it gives it a two-part mechanical setup to ensure that the system's being triggered whenever a high water incident does occur. And as I talked about here, a nice visual of the web interface that TAPCO offers called Blink Link, so that you can get the actual visual image of that flood zone to know if you do need to send somebody out or not at that time. And as I talked about earlier with overheight connected vehicle interface, I'm going to get more in depth on here in a few slides, so I won't talk about it too much now, but this is something that can be utilized in any one of the solutions I talk about today. So the big advantage, because there are a few different high water warning system companies out there at this time, really value add for TAPCO, again, is the A to Z from beginning to end turnkey experience. Us going out to the field, helping design and helping you understand where the best pole placement will be, and providing you a different type of detection points or warning devices to best suit your application. Because most of the other few things competitors I've seen out there, it's a single type of detection, a single type of warning device. We're just trying to give you different options to utilize as different scenarios do warrant different type of features. And then afterward, TAPCO is there to help you on site oversee the install and support turn on and making sure everything is running great before we head back. So again, we just want to provide you that kind of A to Z experience. Fourth system I'll get into today is our intersection conflict warning system. There's many type of rural scenarios out there right now where you're getting high-speed main thoroughfare traffic that bypasses minor road traffic, which, whether it's due to visibility or just consistent traffic, that there are incidents that are commonly occurring, but it just doesn't warrant putting up a signalized intersection at this location, as putting up a full-blown signalized intersection can cost $200,000-$400,000. So what TAPCO has done is we're taking that same type of technology through detection, communication, and warning devices, giving these vehicles the proper warning for cautionary and slowdown as they hit this location. So whether it's a blind corner going up a hill, back down that hill, sharp turns, or it could just be high speed again, passing minor road that are just having too many speeding incidents. Again, TAPCO will put warning devices at all four corners, and we'll make sure that we're giving all vehicles the proper warning to get them to slow down going into that intersection. One type of feature, just so you know, that TAPCO has recently just added on is we do offer a portable camera data collection system that if you want to get some of that data prior to putting out or collect some of that data while the system is out, that is something that we do offer prior to. Many of you may have already collected the data and understand the amount of incidents and accidents and vehicle traffic that already goes through, but it's just another feature that TAPCO does offer with these systems. Next, I'll get into school zone systems. So starting to be, as school starting this year, we want to make sure that we can guide our children properly through the correct areas to get to those schools safely and soundly, as many times some of these schools are very nearby high-speed roads. And we want to make sure that we're getting those vehicles to slow down, especially around those school hours. So again, TAPCO offers a number of different warning devices, anything from your dual flashing beacons, excuse me, to LED enhanced signs, to driver feedback displays. And The great thing TAPCO can offer with these is, again, they can all be utilized through that web interface. So if you're having to manage 15, 20 different schools that have 4 different warning devices each, instead of having to go out during half days or snow days or specialty vacation days or summer, that you can actually then log in and set them all within a matter of minutes. So again, a fantastic cloud-based feature that we offer for all of these devices to really save you a lot of labor time throughout the year of having to change out the clock on these types of warning systems. One of the features we've offered on this remote type of alert-based system is now is we do offer a lights out notification. So not only can you program and set your calendar remotely, but you can actually receive alerts if the battery is low, if your solar is low, if the communication is low. And now we actually offer, if you do actually have a lamp out from your beacon system, that we can actually provide that information as well. It's just giving you more diagnostics to understand when you need to go out into the field and maintain your equipment. The speed feedback signs that I talked about here for school zones are not only for school zones, but obviously can be utilized anywhere from a warning and regulatory type of model. So TAPCO offers, we feel, the most economical driver feedback systems in the industry. We do offer both Bluetooth as well as cloud-based scenarios from being able to monitor and program your systems. Many different digit sizes, many different additional features, different power sources from AC to battery to solar. Again, we feel driver feedbacks are becoming very prevalent within our industry. And at this point, we just want to make sure that we offer all the features that you need for the most economical price in the market. So if you need any type of quotes on a system like this, please let your TAPCO representative know. Next, I will jump into pedestrian mid-block crosswalk systems. So TAPCO's been in this market here for a good 15 years. We first came out with an LED enhanced warning sign. Then we jumped into the circular beacons. And then I believe it was roughly 2008 when RFB started to trickle into the industry and has really taken the industry by storm at this point. The data that came back from the RFB testing in St. Petersburg, Florida, many, many years ago, was the highest yield to pedestrian data of any type of yellow warning device that's ever existed. So due to that, the METCD made its own special section and has approved this type of warning device. So again, we aren't limited to the type of warning device that you need to utilize, from LED enhanced signs to beacons to RFBs to in-road warning lights, blank out signs, and then we can trigger them in many different types of fashions. The RFB has to be pedestrian activated, so that's going to need to be activated by a active push button. We have many different types of those, or passive type of detection, which I'll talk about thermal in a little bit here, as well as IR walk-through bollards. Some of the LED enhanced or beacon systems are a little bit more capable of utilizing other type of systems, such as running 24/7 or on a time clock. The RFB has very strict regulations on how it needs to be utilized, so we'll make sure to provide you with that education as well, as if you are looking for that type of device. So as I mentioned here, FHWA did inter-approve the RFB through IA-21. So TAPCO does follow this to a T. So it's just important to know when you do call in, we will make sure we follow the IA-21 regulation. Our LEDs do actually exceed that size in the IA-21, and we do offer a universal mounting bracket to allow it to mount to many different types of poles. I talked about earlier the thermal detection enhancement. So we do believe that thermal is the most accurate type of passive detection out there in the market. Again, it detects directionality of the pedestrian. It allows you to set zones to ensure that you are picking up the pedestrian when it is in that zone, and you're not false triggering when vehicles are coming by perpendicularly or around the corner through that crosswalk. So thermal is by far the most accurate type of detection out there in the market, and we, again, will eliminate any type of those false triggers. So if you are looking to get into passive detection because you are in an area where you're just not seeing people push the push button, We see that commonly in like university school areas. This type of passive detection is outstanding for that type of scenario. Another great feature that we offered as an enhancement to our mid-block solutions is our Safe Walk illuminator light. So not really sure why, but this industry really hasn't had a whole lot of solutions as far as actually enhancing the crosswalk at night to actually see the pedestrian as well. So we do a great job of providing warning indications to the vehicles that a crosswalk is coming up. But we haven't, the industry hasn't always enhanced that crosswalk to ensure that the pedestrian can be seen. So if there isn't a street light nearby, TAPCO offers an illuminator light in there to make sure that we can enhance that crosswalk at nighttime. So the system will only activate via photo eye, so it's only going to be available at night and will only trigger when the push button or the detection is set. So that the case being is it doesn't require much power, so we're able to utilize the same type of solar options that we were with our standard equipment. So again, great low cost added feature for your mid-block solutions. So now I'll jump a little bit more detail into the connected vehicle interface. So again, TAPCO jumped into this market here about a year or two ago. We all understand going through trade shows, webinars that are out there right now. Smart vehicles, CVI is one of the bigger topics out there right now, is trying to understand how we're going to develop our roads for the future for these smart vehicles. So the nice thing about the development of TAPCO system is we did make it agnostic to be able to work with DSRC or 5G networks. We understand that DSRC has a good footprint out there right now. So if you're looking to do a project currently, it's probably potentially going to work with the DSRC. But we do understand the future probably is working through 5G networks as more towers are built. So we have the ability to work with either or. One of the great things about this type of system right now is you may not need it right now, but all of TAPCO systems can be easily upgraded to add this connected vehicle interface in the future. So if you're looking to put up any type of solutions right now, and you might think about doing something 3 to 5 years down the road, again, the great thing about utilizing our solutions is it can be easily upgraded, so you don't have to tear down the existing equipment to then change it in 3 to 5 years. So the way that TAPCO system will work is the connected vehicle interface will talk to the roadside unit that is going to be on a nearby pole. TAPCO can supply these roadside units, or we can work with different roadside units out there in the industry if the agency is already utilizing that. And then that roadside unit's going to talk to the vehicle and the onboard interface, whether it's directly through the smart vehicle itself, through something such as a serious setup within their vehicle, or whether or not TAPCO provides an onboard unit that can be attached to give those vehicle indications. So there are many different types of solutions we can offer to make sure you get the full-blown effect of a connected vehicle interface. So the next type of added feature that we can offer to any one of these systems is the web-based blink link that I've talked about here. So not only can you map out all of your systems, not only can you calendar set them, but you can receive these alerts, receive data. Again, it starts to give that smart city approach towards making sure all of your intelligent warning devices are on one type of platform so that you can monitor them all accurately. So again, making sure that you can get all the historical data and map them to making sure that you can remotely manage it through an easy calendar-based setup, and then making sure that you can receive the text or email alerts. And then if we do have a camera out there, you'll get a visual indication as well. So that's something that you're only going to get the visual, obviously, if TAPCO offers that additional camera. So if you do want that, I'll make sure that's noted in the time of quoting.
I have one question pop up in regards to the pedestrian crosswalk from Thomas. Does ADA govern these devices? For example, are APS buttons required?
So ADA doesn't govern the devices. The ADA comes out with specifications that are highly recommended, just like the MUTCD does. So they're going to give a guidance to what needs to be done out there. So between ADA and APS, good question on that, because we are seeing the industry kind of move towards APS buttons, but right now they are not required. They're just recommended. So for instance, the RFB, which is the latest specification that came out, it actually states that they're highly recommended, but not required. So again, we are seeing more and more agencies move towards that. And FHWA has the ability to work with ADA to change that at any time. But right now, APS is just a highly recommended and not required. So I'll jump next here into our wrong way alert systems. I'm going to just do real brief on this, as this is usually utilized more at a state DOT level, tollways, turnpike authorities, things like that. So a real basic system right here. TAPCO is currently leading the industry in wrong way alert based systems. We've been doing it here for about 7 years. We were awarded new technology warning system back at ATSA back in 2012. And since then, we've learned a lot of things through field historical data to ensure that we do have the most accurate system out there and that we're not providing any kind of false triggers towards and giving that information back to the TMC or highway patrol. So we're making sure that pole placement is accurate, and we utilize the right type of detection technology, which right now we're using thermal. So as the vehicle approaches that wrong way area, there's an alert zone, which is going to activate those warning devices, whether it be LED enhanced signs, beacons, dynamic displays, blankouts, etc., RFBs. And as we bypass that, we'll kind of go into that correction zone, which gives the vehicles the ability to kind of correct themselves and turn around. And if they continue to go through and go past the full-blown detection area, then it's the confirmation zone. And that's when we're actually going to send the visual alert to the TMC or a highway patrol that a wrong way vehicle has gone through the entire system and is headed towards the highway. So again, we want to make sure that we're the most accurate, giving the most proper data so that when highway patrol and TMC reacts, that they can react efficiently. So again, our goal is to prevent vehicles to getting onto the highway in general. So it's very important that we pole place to make sure that these vehicles see enough flashes from the warning devices to allow them to do the correction zone and turn around. But again, we do understand that there's going to be some vehicles that just make it all the way through, which is why we want to make sure we have the proper detection and confirmation set up to provide those alerts back to the TMC. Those of you that are getting in depth, I won't get too much into this, but we do offer direct connection into TMC software, whether or not it's through a cell modem API interface or whether or not it's through fiber connection that's already existing out there. So we do have the ability to work within the state's infrastructure right now, and it's not something that has to be fully on its own with the TAPCO system. So I talked about some of our most popular systems out there right now, but that's not what TAPCO is limited to by any means. So we're definitely trying to understand and get far more into the smart work zone space. So we do have a lot of solutions there as far as being able to just set up a smart work zone or providing hardware that's providing more data back and more visual indication. We do offer many different types of rail solutions, queue warning areas, whether or not the queuing is in the rail area or whether it's on a highway itself. We do offer different types of weather solutions, RWIS, icy road conditions, slippery when wet, snowfall. We do offer a number of different solutions for way stations, trucks exiting, entering, as we do understand that there's a lot more need for those types of solutions on the highway. And then as bike paths can be continue to become more prevalent, we offer a number of different solutions for bike paths as well. So these are just a few of the others that we dive into. If you have any type of scenario right now where you're just trying to figure out what is the best solution, you're having continual incidents or accidents, contact your TAPCO representative. Again, we have a lot of the technology that exists there. Maybe it's just combining a number of different things to provide you the best solution for your scenario. TAPCO dove into the DMS market here about a year and a half ago with the acquisition of Adaptive Microdisplay. So TAPCO and Adaptive are one in itself at this time. So TAPCO does offer full-blown color, amber, larger dynamic message displays, as well as some of the smaller displays that can be utilized within mass transit, mass notification. So again, we have many different types of solutions that we can offer at this point. Walkthroughs, front access, again, whatever your needs may be, TAPCO is happy to price this standalone, or we can tie this into one of the solutions we just talked about, from wrong way, over height, curve warning. So again, just another great warning device to add to our arsenal. Again, here's some of the smaller versions of it. So we have both larger dynamic message signs as well as smaller blank out type of scenarios. So to utilize in your similar static signing sizes, we do offer blank outs for that as well. There are some scenarios where we do believe a blank out is important to make sure that you have the proper verbiage to understand what to do, such as potentially a certain type of reroute or directionality. We do think that blank outs potentially might be a better scenario than static signage. So again, we'll always make sure we understand your location, what your issues are, and make sure we suggest the correct type of warning system for it. So kind of coming to the end. So again, TAPCO helping with the consultation, design, going out there through field walkthroughs, providing you the proper system for your situation, making sure that we help you through the procurement type of cycle for that. And then after it's purchased, then at that point, TAPCO has a number of different solutions to offer you to help you maintain your system and provide service when need be. So we do strongly suggest for our systems and any type of intelligent systems you have out there, the preventative maintenance is fantastic to set up to ensure that the solutions you have out there will function and work as long as they possibly can without providing any preventive maintenance. It's just the life duration of the systems will always be limited if there isn't any preventative maintenance done on that. So not only can we let you know what is suggested on our systems, TAPCO does have a fantastic field service team where we can potentially offer you a quote on TAPCO doing the preventative maintenance for your intelligent warning systems. So again, just another great value add TAPCO can offer for our customers. When we're getting to some intelligent like ITS type of equipment, there are things such as response time, knockdowns, emergency services. So those get into a whole nother realm of making sure that we can provide that type of service. So TAPCO will look to see where the location is, and we usually will subcontract and team with local contractors to do that then for you. But nonetheless, we'll make sure we understand what your needs are and if we can provide that solution for you. The cooperative procurement side of things, which I had talked about throughout this presentation, TAPCO has teamed up with Omnia, and we did win a publicly bid contract through Omnia that we actually were just recently awarded here in 2020. It was bid for the second time. So TAPCO had previously had the contract, and it was actually called U.S. Communities at the time. Omnia has purchased U.S. Communities. It was rebid here in 2020. And TAPCO has an extended 5-year contract now with Omnia utilizing this cooperative program. It's the most widely used cooperative program in the market. Again, a great thing about this contract is it was publicly bid. So we do understand there's a lot of cooperative programs out there that are not publicly bid, which then doesn't ensure that you do receive competitive pricing. So the great thing about this contract, again, also is that there are no annual costs to sign up. Very easy process for us to guide you through. We offer free freight for our purchases. Again, we offer you a competitive price because it says publicly bid, and we can offer every single product that we offer. So that's another great thing about this contract is even if it wasn't on the original bid, as long as we offer the same type of pricing breakdown, we can offer new products and services as well. So just a great cooperative program for you to work with your procurement agencies that if you want a certain type of system and a little bit worried about something coming in that doesn't meet your specifications, we have this cooperative program to work with you on. We can set up blanket purchase agreements through that as well, just to make everybody's life a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to get the products that you need in a timely fashion. So, just in summary, not only do we talk about some of the solutions TAPCO has to offer our industry right now, because right now here in 2020, we're just trying to become more educational to our customers, ensuring that they understand what solutions exist, what are hot topics in the industry right now. Mid-block warning, work zone, CVI, these are all very hot topics in our industry right now. So we want to make sure we're educating our customers, letting them know procurement type of opportunities that are out there. We want to make sure you understand different type of funding mechanisms that are out there, as we do understand some budgets may be cut down a little bit next year. So TAPCO can be a resource for you, and we have a great section on our website of different federal and state funding that exists. But again, just to kind of let you know the advantages, again, we're trying to be the experts in the industry, providing you the best solution for your scenarios. We want to make sure you can timely and most accurately handle your procurement process. We want to make sure that we give you the proper power sources so that your system will work 12 months out of the year without any issues. These one size fits all solar setups from other places I've seen are just too really dangerous out there to put, because we just know that summertime sun is just not the same as wintertime sun, and we need to make sure, again, we have the proper battery backup and solar to provide for all 12 months. Again, TAPCO offering the remote management software of BlinkLink allows you to start thinking a little bit more smart city, to have all of your different types of devices on one platform to be able to monitor and receive alerts from. TAPCO providing all different types of warning devices and detection, such as thermal and things like that. Again, we're continually coming out and being innovative, coming out with new technologies every year. Some of the new technologies, again, that we came out with in the past years, that Safe Walk illuminator. So again, very low cost illuminator for your mid-blocks, and the connected vehicle interface. So TAPCO is going to continue to come out with new products every year and continue to educate you all on what does exist. And then again, we're happy to help in the beginning part, from consultative design, walkthroughs to your field visits to make sure pole placement is accurate. And then we're going to be there afterwards to making sure that we're there for on-site support, making sure that your system's turned on accurately, and providing you the maintenance and service that you need to make sure your systems have the longevity they deserve. So again, we're not just a hardware provider, we're a solutions provider. And we want to make sure we can help you through the entire process. At this time, I'll kind of open it up to any questions that you may have. I know I went over quite a bit here today. Again, we're going to send out this presentation, so you'll be able to look over the PowerPoint. And if the questions don't come up at this time, you definitely can let your representative know after the fact as well.
All right, I do see we have a few questions that came up. The first question is, Brian, how are TAPCO lead times currently with COVID?
Yeah, good question. So COVID has not currently affected TAPCO with any of our lead times. When it first started back in late February, March, we did have some vendor delays there in the first month. So at that point, we were, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks delayed here in that first month. But ever since then, so ever since April, we've got our standard lead times. We were making sure that we're inventorying accurately with the few vendors that might have COVID issues. But we have a strong list of suppliers that really have gotten through it really well as TAPCO has. So currently, we are having no delays due to COVID.
Great, thank you. And another question, can you speak to the importance of a solar evaluation?
Yeah, absolutely. So the solar evaluation I kind of talked about throughout, it's really important to ensure that you have the adequate amount of solar based on what you're putting on the pole, where you're putting the pole, if there's any shading, and how often it's being run. So by doing a solar evaluation, we can actually, there's two different ways we could do it. One, To save time, we'll actually take a look at it in Google Earth. And if we can get enough information from Google Earth, we can give you the proper type of solar sizing to work 12 months out of the year. And we can kind of give you a layout showing that. If we can't quite get enough information from Google Earth, what we'll do is we can send out a solar site survey kit, which will come out via UPS. And it's just a tripod stand that you'll take a picture of a dome that we have on the top of that. And once you take the picture of that, it'll actually be sent back to TAPCO, which will go through a data analysis calculator we do, which will then spit out the proper solar sizing. So again, whether it's Google Earth or whether or not we do it through the solar survey analysis, we again just want to make sure that all 12 months out of the year, your system's working accurately. Yeah, January can really be a beast in certain climates as far as the amount of sun that we get. So we want to make sure that we provide you, again, the proper sizing to work all 12 months.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. And one more question I have for you. Does the high water system send alerts such as email or text, or do you need to have the online program to achieve this?
So you do need to have the online program to achieve it. So to receive any kind of alert, you do need to actually have a modem with inside of that system, and which then will have to go to that platform to receive that alert. The alert actually can be sent through text or through email through that platform. But yeah, you do need that system. Now, there are certain things that with those alerts, I know some people get a little bit worrisome when they hear cellular costs because they're thinking, annual costs. One thing is we can actually kind of bundle it all up in the front so that you're not actually having to deal with an annual fee. Other things we can do is tie into existing fiber or things like that to potentially reduce that as well. So if the concern is annual cellular costs, there are different solutions we can offer for you for that.
Great. Thank you, Brian. It looks like we answered all of our questions today. We really want to thank everyone for attending the webinar today. We really appreciate the attendance. And as a reminder, we will be sending out all relevant links and a recording to the webinar within the next few days. If you'd like to receive a PDH certificate, please send me an email. You can see my contact information on the screen now. Thank you again, everyone. We hope to talk to you soon and have a great rest of your day and week.